With Acola's recent victory at Kagura B15, the largest Smash Ultimate tournament to date, discourse surrounding the GOAT of Ultimate has begun to surge. MKLeo was regarded as the single greatest player to ever touch the sticks, with a near spotless record for the game's first few years, making him the undisputed greatest of all time. However, the times have changed, and acola has cemented himself into Ultimate's legacy with a near incomprehensible level of consistency. So, today, I want to observe the case for both of these players in order to determine who is the true GOAT of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's get into it. Let's get the big one out of the way, rankings. MKLeo was ranked as the best player in the world from 2019 to 2022. During this period, he boasted a 2.5-year-long streak of Grand Finals appearances. While he has not made it back to number 1 post-2022, he has still remained a consistently top 25 player. Acola was only ranked 1 in 2023 and the first half of 2024, though he has yet to land outside of the top 4 since. Acola also carried a 3-year-long top 8 streak, coming second only to MKLeo. Personally, I have to give this one to Leo. While Acola has been more consistently threatening, Leo's reign was much longer, even excluding the year from the pandemic. It's also worth considering when each player began competing. Acola is well known for being a prodigy, winning his first major at 15 and being ranked first the very next year. This presents a predicament, as Leo also won his first major at 15 and was also ranked first the very next year. Then, how should we resolve this? Well, I'd say the point doesn't go to either of them. When looking at prodigy status, now we need to consider a new contestant, Doramigi. As the youngest player to both win a major and be ranked number 1 in the world, he definitely deserves to be in the GOAT conversation. However, I won't be considering him because I hate children. It's important to factor the characters each of these players use. Acola's primary lineup consists of Steve, Mr. Game & Watch, and Aegis. Many would consider these characters quite cheap and cite Acola as being carried because of this. Leo's lineup of Joker, Violet, and Aegis, on the other hand, is much different. These are some of the most skillful and impressive characters in the game. Leo has only ever used fair and honest characters throughout his career, such as Smash 4 Bayonetta. I have to give this point to Leo, the greatest fundies abuser of our generation. Acola also has a unique quirk, the Cola factor. Kolawole Aidean, formerly known as Salt 1, is universally regarded as the single greatest player to ever touch the sticks. I damn near cried when he won that one Luminosity Invitational. He and Acola both hail from the Cola lineage, meaning their abilities should be considered equal. Now, accounting for base Cola's data, I've determined that acola has much more to his name than we initially thought. Notably, Cola is black, a feat which MKLeo has yet to accomplish. For all the given reasons, I do have to hand this one to my brother, Acola. Looking at majors, there's a very interesting story to be told here. As of the time of writing, MKLeo and Acola are neck and neck in terms of major wins, with Acola just barely taking the lead. Acola's major feats are more impressive, however, winning 2 of the Super Premier tournaments versus Leo's 1. Acola clearly takes the win here, but there's a catch. I just don't care. I'm mentally stuck in 2019, and EVO was cool as hell to watch. That's another point for Leo. Next, we need to talk about Skinny the Pooh. Skinny the Pooh is the only player to have ever beaten both MKLeo and Acola, making him the single greatest player to ever touch the sticks. However, only one of these 2 players has ever beaten him in bracket. MKLeo currently has a 1-1 record with Skinny, while Acola has a 1-0 record. Let's crunch the numbers here. Some basic math tells us that if Acola and Skinny were to ever face again, there's a 100% chance that Skinny will take the set. Yikes! Leo wins this category for sure. One thing I rarely see brought up in these types of conversations is overall strength. Both of these players have been injected with Compound V, that much should be obvious by now, but few know that Leo actually has V1 in his blood. This is the original version of the serum, which grants its recipients with a much more extreme set of powers. The feat known as Game 4 Leo can be attributed to this. Given this knowledge, I believe it's appropriate to scale MKLeo to Soldier Boy in this category, as he has also taken V1. While we don't know much about his prowess on the battlefield of Smash, we can make some inferences about his playstyle using contextual evidence. Soldier Boy is both an old head and somewhat homophobic, leading me to believe he is a Ganondorf main. I simply do not see any world where a player as impressive as Acola loses to somebody using Ganondorf, so I must grant this point to him. It's time. Looking at all the numbers, it's clear who the winner is. Leffen, the single greatest player to ever touch the sticks. There's a hidden factor I've yet to tell you about. Potential. Leffen is really good at video games. I shouldn't have to tell you that much, but just how good? We may never know, but we do know that Leffen is the most talented and hardest working person to ever exist. He's the only player to win EVO. Twice! Probably. I bet you didn't even know that. If he kept on playing Ultimate, I have without a shadow of a doubt that he would go on to eclipse both MKLeo and Fraud Cola's legacies tenfold and some. So to everyone that thinks they can make it playing just Ultimate, go home, play a real video game like Melee. Thank you for watching. Draco M out. Notably, Cola is black.